Power, Happiness and Success family, right? This video is for anyone out there who finds themselves overly stressed out and they want to kind of take hold of their life. They want to understand their true selves and the kind of patterns that they're running, their own addictions, and especially addictions that they're unaware of. So let's dive straight in. So this is going to be a very in-depth, very uncomfortable thing to face. But this is all about progress. This is all about better understanding ourselves. It's about making us happier, more joyous, more peaceful human beings, so that we aren't always feeling as though we're running a pattern. So we don't feel like we're kind of caught up and overwhelmed in our lives. So let's dive straight in. Right, so we're going to address our addictions. Now, obviously you guys, I'm sure, are familiar with addictions such as excessive drinking, taking illicit drugs, eating too many sugary foods, these kind of addictions, right? But what I'm talking about here is our addictions with our own egos. Yes. And, whenever we are focused on the past or overly focused on the future, whenever we're stressed out, stress is a type of fear. In many ways, all kinds of fears can be kind of cultivated, if you will, through different, like stress, anxiety, anger. These are all different forms of fear coming out in different ways and through different kind of emotions, if you will. So the addictions I'm referring to in this video are actually our addictions with our own ego, with our own selves. Okay? Because most people spend 70% of their lives actually living in chronic stress and therefore chronic fear. And therefore, where there's fear, there is the ego. So I'm not saying like we need to obliterate our egos. I mean, our egos serve a purpose, right? It keeps us motivated, wanting to be significant, wanting to be loved, always looking for acceptance and these sort of things. And to an extent, it cannot be, I'm not saying we need to constantly put that aside, because what are we without our identity, right? But what I am conscious of is that sometimes things get way out of control. And I think most of us are experiencing this level of lack of control on a continual basis. I mean, recently in 2018, a survey was done and they reported that 74% of people in the UK aged 16 or over have reported feeling so stressed out that they felt overwhelmed or unable to cope. And really this is because people are identifying with their minds way too much. They are identifying with their egos so much. And by egos, I'm not necessarily always referring to things like, look how nice my car is, look how nice my house is, these sorts of egotistical things, and taking selfies and projecting a fake and false lifestyle. I mean, that plays its role as well. But I'm looking at more so being overly focused on your time, on the watch. Yes, this is one of our beast enemies. In fact, every single time that we look at our time, we're thinking, oh, I'm late for this, I'm doing that. We're essentially programming ourselves to be wired into our egos. Now, I'm not naive enough to suggest that you need to get rid of your watches and all these sorts of things, because time is relevant. We live in a place where we would need to be, attend certain meetings. We need to be on track of things. We like being productive. We like, being there for other people, and that requires keeping track of time. But there is excess, and that's what I'm referring to in this video primarily. We don't need to be governed by our watch. We don't need to be governed by the clock. We don't need to be run by the mind. And most people are experiencing great amounts of stress, great amounts of fear, great amounts of depression or anger, primarily because we are being run by our patterns and therefore owned by the mind. And we need to detach from this. And we need to regain our focus on the present moment and becoming more connected to the source, to that greater intelligence that's making your heart beat without you doing it. That greater intelligence that's giving you oxygen, that's enabling you to breathe, and you don't have to consciously be aware of the way in which you breathe. There are cells within your body. Every single cell that you have is going through 100,000 different chemical reactions each second. Your body's producing 10 million new cells every second, and you're losing that same amount of cells as well. Your heart is pumping over 100 gallons of blood every single hour, more than that. There's something out there that's looking after us, that's watching over us, if you will, that greater intelligence. If you're religious, it's your God. If you're spiritual, it's that greater power, that source that we're connecting to. And it's that we kind of need to reconnect with. And whenever we're in the present moment and we're meditating, or we're breathing, or we're being grateful, or being in the moment, and we're truly being present with whatever's happening in front of us, that's beautiful. And I tell you what's not beautiful, when you're having a chat with someone and you're meant to be present and fully focused, and instead you're clocking off and you're focusing on something that's been on your mind recently, or you're worried about something in the past, or you're concerned about something yet to come in the future, and you're not in that present moment. And the more you condition yourself to be run by time, to not being focused on the present moment, you know, the average person loses focus about 6 to 10 times every single minute. That is staggering. And we need to take control, we need to take ownership. And it's all about disassociating from our egos when we can. Whenever you feel fearful, whenever you're stressed, whenever you're anxious, whenever you're angry, whenever you're frustrated, whenever you're consumed with a past experience, whenever you're dwelling on the future and you're worried about the future, whether it be your finances or whether it be a certain relationship or a certain business or a meeting, whenever you're overly consumed with anything to do with the past or present, you are being run by your ego. And I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be this way, especially not for long durations, especially not consistently. Because we're programming ourselves, our unconscious, to constantly live by our egos and to be defeated by our own selves. And that's what I want us to address. So if you appreciate this kind of content, you want to know more, head on over to my website at www.alexgem.com. Simply click Join PHS today. Enter your credit card details. You'll gain instant access to my mind-blowing, revolutionary course, The Power Solution. Taking you from where you are in your life to where you want to be, making you happier, more peaceful, more energetic, making you more productive. Because when you are stressed out, you don't think right. Your cortex is not running the show, and we want our cortex to be running the show. But when we're stressed out and fearful and our egoic mind is in full swing, we're not making the best decision for us. We're not absorbing information. We're not processing information the best way because we're acting out of fear. And if you're chronically fatigued and chronically stressed, and you know, even chronically sleep deprived, it can be related to your fear. It can be related to your ego. It can be related to the fact that you aren't in the present moment as often as you should be. And I can help take you through that process. And this course is just the beginning. I've included 3 amazing bonuses in this course as well. Hours of exclusive video footage, podcast material, and 100 audio segments to keep you on track, to keep you bettering your health, to keep you becoming even more successful, even more abundant, even more relaxed, even more peaceful, developing your self-esteem. These are some of the most crucial, important things in our lives. Making sure that you live healthily, you live longer, and you make the most of our precious moments in this realm. We're going to change your perspectives. We're going to change your habits. We're going to change your lifestyle. Your personality will shift. Very exciting times. Now, the whole package is worth well over $1,200. I'm not charging anywhere near that. I genuinely want you to invest in me and therefore invest in yourself. Because what I'm offering here is absolutely life-changing material. This transmutation will make the difference. It will make the shift for you. And I strongly urge you to take part in it now. Because the longer you wait, the more you are delaying satisfaction, the more you are delaying great actual joy and peace in your life. And you know, life is short. So why not make the most of it right now? Come join us. I offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're fearful, if your ego's taking hold of you now, if you're being negative, you're being fearful, and you think, you know what, maybe not now, Alex, and this sort of stuff, put your ego aside. Come join us. Because I'm going to add so much value, you're going to be astonished. You're going to love it. And you are worth it. You know, you're going to be shocked by the price. You are worth that. And if you don't think you're worth that, then trust me, you need it even more. Take action. If you're fearful, take action if you're being negative. Get my book, The Art of Power, Happiness and Success. You can get that at Amazon. You can get it at my store as well. www.alexgemstore.com. Go hook yourself up. I sell all kinds of health-related products as well and services. And hopefully I'll be able to work with you in the future. Like this video if you found it beneficial. You might want to hit the subscribe button and also click the notification bell, because every single week I release several videos such as this and you're going to want to keep updated. Okay, so subscribe to the YouTube channel, join the family. I can't wait to be part of your journey. Take care.